Last month, DirAction reached out to me and said, "Okay, if we can figure out some areas of collaboration and see जो उनके students graduate हो रहे हैं या जो उनके incoming students हैं उनको हम किस तरह से guide कर सकते हैं on a trajectory which is multidimensional." Now this is very important. This word multidimensional या आप कह लो different directions के साथ जाने का उसकी reason ये है कि whatever training you are having, it's related to e-commerce, and then that is when Nabil shared with me his vision of expanding DirAction into newer avenues. तो हमारी एक बड़ी rigorous discussion हुई कि let's just say someone has gone through the training of e-commerce or dropshipping per se, but they are more inclined towards digital marketing, or they are more inclined towards development. Like now they have decided that they want to stick with the tech world, but now they want to switch from their core vertical. So what are the possibilities as to how can they still be a part of DirAction, but still they can explore newer avenues for themselves. तो वहाँ पे हम लोगों ने decide किया कि there are a couple of courses which we can launch, but उससे भी बेहतर ये होगा कि we form a very strong network. A network which enables these folks on their own in a more peer-to-peer environment. इसके ऊपर jump करने से पहले, remote working पे jump करने से पहले या digital nomadism, actually this particular session, I would refer to it as a session because in the best interest of time, I would like to wrap it up within 10 minutes. This session is more about digital nomadism, which is at times confused with remote work. इसके अंदर बहुत एक stark contrast है. और उसके ऊपर हम आएंगे अभी in a minute or two. But just so that you guys can relate with my story a bit, मैं आपको थोड़ा सा अपना background बता देता हूँ, and that is when you'll know कि I am more or less overlapping with you in many fronts. So I graduated from NUST Islamabad as a software engineer in 2015. But while like I was in my sophomore year, I happened to intern at this incubator called Plan 9. Punjab Information Technology Board का ये incubator था. Nabil back then was the director, so I happened to intern in the incubator while he was the director. That is where I got inspired to start my own startup. Back in the day, 2012 में startups, entrepreneurship per se या fundraising का तो कोई concept ही नहीं था. They were just buzzwords. And I was not really, like, I didn't know what I'm doing, but मेरा एक idea बहुत clear था, वो ये था कि since I had moved from Lahore to Islamabad and I was a student and I wanted to work with other organizations as an intern as well, my idea was very clear. It was that I need to make a platform which enables other students to do remote work as well. अब अगर आप देखें तो in essence this is what Fiverr, Upwork and other platforms do. But a very major differentiation between this is कि आज अगर आपका unfortunately Upwork या Fiverr ban हो जाता है for some odd reason in Pakistan, you would not have any brand equity of your own. Now this word is very important, brand equity. And unfortunately Pakistanis, because of the lack of exposure, because of the lack of, how should I put it, presentability, we lack in brand equity, but हमारी product equity strong होती है. So जो आपका drop shipping model है, it's primarily product equity. जो आपका general e-commerce model है, वो भी at times is product equity if it is based on Amazon or DirAction. हाँ, अगर आपकी अपनी website है या आपका अपना brand है per se, let's say Outfitters या कोई भी और आपका localized brand, या एक हमारी बहुत successful story quote होती है from Plan 9, which is Mark Hor's, the shoe company, which is now Atoms as well. तो वो brand equity की base पे खेल रहे हैं, वो product equity की base पे नहीं खेल रहे हैं, and this is where the stark contrast comes in. खैर, I started my journey as a techie. I got interested in the design funnels, so I became a self-taught designer. मैंने खुद से design सीखा. And then design के बाद I started, like I indulged myself in the marketing department as well. Again, a part of it has to do with the fact that I was literally in the cradle of innovation in Pakistan back then, which was Plan 9. उसके बाद तो काफ़ी ज़्यादा चीज़ें spearhead हो गई थी. उसकी वजह से I got an opportunity to work with Facebook as well. I was the first representative of Facebook here in Pakistan, selected among 12 peers globally. Again, due to Plan 9 and Nabil, they recommended me to be a part of this. So I got to work with Facebook as well because of this. And then this is where the journey took a more remote oriented trajectory in a way that I became rebellious to the typical 9 to 5 office oriented culture, and I requested Nabil to release me of my contract क्योंकि मैं travel करना चाहता था और उसकी reasoning ये थी कि I started traveling because of conferences. और इसके अंदर एक बहुत major insight है. वो major insight ये है कि early on because of NUST, this is where good universities happen to provide you with some sort of exposure. NUS used to call in these folks from different institutes and all of them used to tell me कि up until 35, up until you hit 35, यहाँ पे एक panelist ने एक बहुत खूबसूरत बात की थी, I really liked it, कि he was investing in himself, and this is where we Pakistanis at times lack. हम लोगों के लिए spending on ourselves is considered more like a very lavish expenditure. Whereas in the Western world, it's paramount to their existence. So, उन्होंने मुझे यही कहा था कि up until 35, forget about working in Pakistan as a remote, as a freelancer. Be a remote worker, but not a freelancer. And the insight was that instead of scouting for your clients over these bidding platforms, go out there in the world. Go out there in the conferences, be part of this co-working spaces, be part of these nomadic networks, and make your worth या make your brand equity as such कि आप कभी market ही ना करो अपने आप को. Now to put things in perspective, AClan, my agency, which is a growth agency, is a decade old. Like हमने 2012 में start की थी, so almost a decade old. We are considered one of the most cutting edge marketing and design agencies of Pakistan. Oppo, Pepsi, ये सारे हमारे clients रह चुके हैं. Collabs, Airlift, जो भी नबील ने बताया था, bookme.pk, mydog.pk, all of these clients, all of these brands which you would know of, हमारे clients रह चुके हैं. But interestingly enough, in the past 10 years, up to this date, हमने आज तक अपनी एक भी marketing campaign या funnel नहीं इनिशिएट की. उसकी रीज़न ये है कि हमारे पास ऑर्गेनिकली क्लाइंट्स खुद ही से आ रहे थे. सो लेट्स से अगर हमारी वर्किंग कैपेसिटी है 100 क्लाइंट्स एट अ टाइम की, तो हमारे पास पाइपलाइन में 500 ऑलरेडी वेटिंग लिस्ट में होंगे. हाउ वाज इट पॉसिबल? दैट वाज पॉसिबल थ्रू डिजिटल नोमैडिज्म, एंड दिस इज़ वेयर विल सिंपली इंडल्ज इनटू द ब्रीफ सेशन टुडे कि वेयर डू वी लाइक व्हाट इज़ द डिफरेंस बिटवीन डिजिटल नोमैडिज्म एंड रिमोट वर्क. रिमोट वर्क और डिजिटल नोमैडिज्म में एक बहुत मेजर जो डिफ्रेंसिएशन ये है वो ये है कि डिजिटल नोमैडिज्म हैज़ टू हैपन इन डिफरेंट प्लेसेस. लाइक यू हैव टू हॉप अराउंड, you have to meet new people. You do not have to be stuck at home or in a place where you surface that environment on daily basis. And this is where sadly our idea, like Pakistan's idea of remote work, is very messed up. सो हम लोग कंफर्ट जोन को ढूंढते हैं और हम हमेशा अपने ऑफिस से भी कह रहे होंगे, लाइक हम अक्सर कोट ये करते हैं कि यार गूगल या फेसबुक या बाकी ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस अलाउ करती हैं रिमोट वर्क को, बट हम ये रियलाइज़ नहीं करते वो रिमोट वर्क के साथ ही साथ आपको एक तो इनकरेज करते हैं टू गो आउट देयर, सिट through a day or two or a week in any of the co-working spaces, make some more organic connections, human connections, because जो आपके organic connections होते हैं उसको आप कोई like there's no alternative to it. So हम लोगों का जो idea of remote work रहा है, and that again on a Pakistani passport, वो यही है कि we should be able to work out of the comfort of our bed, which sadly is very counterproductive. And this is where digital nomadism kicks in. Digital nomadism का आपका concept simple सा होता है. You scout for a couple of networks, a couple of moving bodies या digital nomads, and you start traveling with them. So अगर आप इससे next पे जाओगे, I'll just share one example with you. So जिस तरह ये एक like it's one of the first digital nomad community या remote workers community of the world. The only Pakistani to date who has been a part of this community is me, and then that too because I scouted for them. And this is very important. You need to be a part, you need to be part of these specialized groups, these specialized platforms in order to be a part of such networks. But let's say you are a part of that network now what? Like how does it change your trajectory या आपको इससे किस तरह से फ़ायदा होता है? So to put things in perspective, आप यहाँ पे देख रहे होगे, आप जाके विजिट भी कर सकते हो, it's hackerparadise.org and all. आप देख रहे होगे कि यहाँ पे there is a game developer from Australia, writer from US, myself, it's an old photo where I was not donning a beard and all, then an artist from the UK and all. ये सारे in small traveling communities और cohorts एक सिलेक्शन बेस्ड मॉडल पे, एप्लीकेशन बेस्ड मॉडल पे एक बॉडी का पार्ट बनते हैं. उनको एक नए सिटी या नए कंट्री में जाके एक को वर्किंग या को लिविंग स्पेस के एक्सेस के साथ लेट्स से 6 to 8 वीक्स के बूट कैंप्स दिए जाते हैं इन वट एवर टेक्नोलॉजी दे वांट टू इंडल्ज इन. वंस दैट इज डन तो आपके पास 3 to 4 टियर्ड ग्रुप्स बन जाते हैं जिनको आप लीड्स भी कह सकते हो या सर्कल्स भी कह सकते हो. एक तो है ये आपका वेरी डाइवर्सिफाइड ग्रुप विच वुड बी ट्रैवलिंग विद यू पर से, अगेन रिमोट वर्कर्स. दे एक्सचेंज स्किल्स very generously. So for instance, I actually asked Storm Alade to guide me as to how I can design, like digitally design, because she was an artist, and she like I taught her a thing or two about full stack programming and all. एंड यहाँ पे आपकी इंटरनल कम्युनिटीज़ बन जाती हैं, यहीं पे फिर आपकी जॉब्स भी डिवाइड होने लग जाती हैं. ये आपको डिफरेंट अपने ही होम कंट्रीज से आपको क्लाइंट्स लेके आने देने लग जाते हैं. सो वहाँ पे फिर आपके स्पेशलाइज्ड प्लेटफॉर्म्स भी हैं लाइक रिमोट ओके एंड व्हाट नॉट. ये तो हो गया एक. एंड देन व्हेन यू बिकम पार्ट ऑफ दिस को वर्किंग कम्युनिटीज़, आप लोग अब द बेस्ट पार्ट इज़ द jargon or the vocabulary is still generalized or almost universal. So I would assume कि आपको co-working spaces का idea हो. Co-working spaces का जो next evolution है that is co-living spaces. जब आप co-living spaces का भी part बनते हो तो essentially you are in immersive universities where you are technically surfacing all possible avenues of making money online. And this is the prereq of any remote work arrangement. You should be able to make money either passively or online without your physical presence on it. So far, my journey has taken me to, next पे चले जाओ. It's done, last slide. So far, my journey has exposed me to entrepreneurial networks of 28 countries. I've never really done any single, you can say, campaign for myself, or like I've never really promoted my services per se. But because of the power of this network and because of the power of hanging out with such communities, I'm always loaded with work. And this is an area where I want to work with Pakistani entrepreneurs and Pakistani remote workers कि हम उसकी community बना सकें.